Hi, I'm Joel Bond, and these are my lockdown life lessons brought to you from Greece. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the headlines. Recently I've been seeing a lot of news about various government leaders and organizations that have not done well in handling their response to the coronavirus pandemic. There's a blame game going on where fingers are being pointed and people are saying, these people have not done well, they're to blame for a shortage of ventilators, this organization needs to have their funding withdrawn for whatever reasons that there are. And this is not a helpful stance. This greatly upsets me because essentially what we're doing is we're creating a distance between ourselves and the participant actors that are playing out on this global scene for us. It's putting us versus the accused. This reminds me of the story of the Garden of Eden, where you've got Adam and Eve that are in the garden, and they both eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And when God comes in and asks, "Did you eat this fruit?" Adam says, "Well, the woman gave it to me." And Eve says, "The snake told me to do it." And in the end, everybody's pointing fingers saying it wasn't me that made the conscious decision for this to happen. Such a human trait this is, to try to absolve ourselves of guilt. My older brother, when he was younger, whenever he got into trouble from my parents, he would try to do the same sort of distancing effect. And he would spin around in a circle, and in some sort of mythical transformation, he would say, "I didn't do it, Elizabeth did." And Elizabeth would get in trouble, this alter ego, and as soon as the punishment was weeded out, he would spin back around and he would become himself again in his own mind. We do this, as funny as it sounds, we all turn into Elizabeth when it comes to wanting to take blame. We don't want to shoulder that responsibility. Essentially, what we're doing is trying to absolve ourselves of any guilt and participation in this role. And in the end, what that does is it changes our role, where we then begin to compare ourselves to the guilty party, saying, "Oh, well, my actions aren't nearly as bad as theirs. I just had a little weekend barbecue with friends during quarantine," or "I just decided not to wear a mask when I went out in public," or "I didn't really have to wash my hands today because I didn't go out." Whatever that weird justification in your own mind might be, we're then creating that division where we are no longer as bad as the other party. We're trying to excuse our own bad behavior, creating us versus them, which further polarizes the divide on the political spectrum, the social spectrum, and all other spectrums that you can possibly think of. I think a better response to all of this really is to then shift from a view of pointing fingers of blame to instead a shared responsibility. We all should shoulder the responsibility for this equally. In doing so, we'll extend our community across distance because we're all isolated. We need to connect. We thrive in connections with others. And if we can all take a small portion of responsibility in this action, in this fight against this virus, then we will begin to draw together in community. It reminds me of a wartime effort where we all get together and we all pitch in to make sure that we are victorious in the end. Throw the war picture out if that doesn't work for you, and instead think about community barn raisings or those events that draw people together that say, yes, we can achieve this if we all take responsibility and work together. This shifts our entire responsibility, shifts our entire viewpoint from one of accusation to a call to action. It shifts the shortcomings of others to learning curves for all. Ultimately, in the end, if we can take a shared responsibility for our actions and then we can work towards beating this virus together, it increases our own responsibility to be fully informed about the issues that we're being a part of, and also increases our understanding of the interconnectedness of all of us. It changes our indictment of others into an accountability where we can support and serve one another in order to work together to win against this virus and to be together once again. I wish you all to be fully accountable, to share your part of the responsibility, and to be safe and well, to love one another so we can finally see each other again. Take care. Until tomorrow.